Hi there, my name is Ross Cunningham. I'm a Munro bagger, Munro's being the 282 highest mountains in Scotland, but obviously due to the lockdown period that we're all in at the minute, no one's on the hills, and so I thought it'd be a good opportunity to look back on some of my favourite hikes to date, including Ben Nevis via the Càrn Mòr Dearg arête, which is what this video is going to be about. So Ben Nevis, it's the highest mountain in Scotland, highest mountain in the UK. It's over 4,400 feet tall. And so a couple of years ago I did Ben Nevis. I did it with my friends, many of whom I was taken to do their first Munro hike, and you do it up the main mountain path up Ben Nevis, which is the most popular way to do it. But ever since then I've always wanted to do Ben Nevis via the Càrn Mòr Dearg arête, the CMD arête. It means you're going up over the 9th highest mountain in Britain. You go over that and then you follow a narrow pass basically between the two mountains up to Ben Nevis. But it's for people that have maybe got a bit more experience of hiking, who are more comfortable scrambling, who are a bit more used to a bit more exposure, a bit more of a head for heights, and I've got a fear of heights. But it was something I was drawn to do. I really wanted to do it, and so I kept looking towards the weekend early last summer, just trying to find a nice clear day. And so one morning woke up and the weather changed from what was meant to be the day before, where it was going to be quite misty, quite foggy, and it said it was going to get clearer visibility on Ben Nevis. So that morning I just thought, right, I'm going to go for it. So I got in the car and drove up to Fort William, and so I parked at the Ben Nevis North Face car park. You walk through a bit of woodland for initial part, and then you come out into the open and you can see the lower slopes of Càrn Mòr Dearg and Ben Nevis. There's Fort William. And then just up here, where I'm heading, in the clouds, Ben Nevis. And so from the lower slopes of Càrn Mòr Dearg, you're going up some pretty steep mountain paths up to the ridge. The view is really opened up on the left. So looking towards the east, I could see across to Arête Mòr, the neighbouring Munro. And then to my right, which would be to the west, I could see Ben Nevis. Thankfully the weather had totally cleared at that point, and you could see the whole mountain from that side. I just really got a great understanding for the enormity of the mountain, not just in its height, but also its sheer mass. It's just a huge bulk of a mountain, so you can see all the crags and the buttresses and the cliff edges and all the rock on this side of the mountain, and really appreciate just how big it is. It's just huge. And so I continued along the ridge, and then soon enough I saw the summit of Càrn Mòr Dearg. Càrn Mòr Dearg in Gaelic, the meaning is the Great Red Mountain. So it's pretty fitting when you see it. It's covered in lots of red rock at the summit. And Càrn Mòr Dearg is a great viewpoint, a great mountain in its own right. To the east you can see across to Arête Mòr, Arête Beg, the Grey Quarries. To the south, Moors Range. To the west, Ben Nevis, just staring you in the face. It's just so humongous. But to the south, you can see across to the hills around Glenloy, across to the Munros around Loch Lochy. It's a great viewpoint. Unfortunately, at that point, just as I started the descent down onto the arête, the weather changed dramatically. Before it had been quite clear visibility once I'd been along the summit, but now it was covered in mist. And when I was walking along the arête, obviously it's very rocky. Because it was starting to rain, it was getting a little bit slippy. I'm just having to take a lot of care going along, especially in the mist. It's quite hard to navigate. But I was doing well. I was making good progress along the arête. But thankfully the weather got better. I was walking along the ridge, and actually what was really cool was I looked up, and Ben Nevis is just this huge mountain in front of you. You see the mist starting to clear a bit. It was going over the summit of Ben Nevis. By this point, it looks like a pointed peak. And it was just really atmospheric. It was just a really cool experience to see the mist come off the top of Ben Nevis like that. And then I looked to my left, which would be to the south, and you could see the Mamors Range, you could see the Glencoe Mountains in the distance as well, beyond that further south, starting to clear up as well. And then suddenly they were just basked in beautiful Lochaber sunshine. Before they're all grey and gloomy, but now they were like bright green. It was just beautiful. And then yeah, looking ahead to Ben Nevis, it was completely clear, and it was just I couldn't have picked a better day for that. So following the arête is straightforward, but it can be challenging in bits. You're having to scramble for parts of it, and it's also quite tiring because it's quite long. So it is physically grueling at points, but it's really enjoyable. But I suppose the biggest thing like with it as well is that you have to be careful because it's an arête, so it's quite narrow at point. It gets really narrow at points as well, and you're up really high. So I mean, if you think of Ben Nevis is over 3 times the full height of the Empire State Building, for example. You really get appreciation for how high up you are. So you're looking to your left, looking to your right, and you're like, okay, I don't want to make any mistakes here. But you keep following the rock. And then the arête starts to get more steeper, and you follow that for a bit, and you're using some bypass routes, but then you're still trying to go over the crest of the ridge. And then I got to a cairn, quite a big cairn, and there's then like a steeper bit. There's a lot of rock. I was pretty much crawling up for most of that. Sweat dripping down my forehead for most of that as well. Pretty exhaustive, but glorious. And yeah, I took as many opportunities as I could to stop and look out. Just one of those great days out in the hills. One of those days that you'll never forget. And then I pushed on to kind of do that final push to get towards the summit. Then suddenly it was there, almost it hits you without you realising it. To make it to the top is always a great feeling, to make it to the top of Ben Nevis, the highest mountain in Scotland, the UK, and you're looking out and you're thinking there's nothing else in a 500-mile radius that's taller than the mountain that you're on at the minute. It's a great feeling, you feel like you're on top of the world. And at the top of Ben Nevis, you've got like the main trig point, you've got the ruins of an old observatory, you've got a war memorial, you've got a hut there to hide in during like bad weather and things. And then the way back, I just followed the main mountain path down to the halfway lock-in. If anybody does Ben Nevis, they'll pass that. And then instead of going left towards back down to Glen Nevis, I turned right to head back down towards where the car park is at the bottom. But I had lots of great memories, a great day out in the hills, and I'm really glad that I finally was able to do it.